So I don't know that Chobutunji just circled the theft from Kabakumba Masiko. Clearly the family is a family full of thieves. This Jennifer woman is the one that was in Ginger in 2021, the election in January. You remember the confusion. So she has now become a consultant in Thagare. And that's why they shipped her and took her to Kayunga. You know, Ugandans, these are the real enemies of our country. These are the real enemies of progress. These are your enemies. I hope that you can begin to treat them as such, as enemies of Uganda. That when they show up for functions, I don't know, church or whatever, don't even give them a seat, a chair to sit, because they are thieves, they are thugs. They are the ones derailing our country. Reject them. Reject these thugs as much as you possibly can. They are derailing our country. They are pulling down our country. And so we need to show them that they are thieves, that they are thugs. We need to excommunicate them totally and also. Because you see, when they do these stupid things, and then tomorrow they come for functions, you give them a microphone, how? You give them a chair to sit at the front, how? We need to wake up, Ugandans. We really, 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 really need to wake up. Our candidate has had a chat with us as the leadership of the party. And she has decided that she's going to go to court with all our DR forms, which clearly show that she won. And the reason she says she's doing this is not so much because she believes in the courts of law, but it is to say, look, you have always said, okay, how have you won? The DR forms are here, they are very clear, they show who has won. She's taking them to court, for court to also count. Maybe they have a better calculator than that of Biabakama, so that they also calculate. And then they tell the world who won in Kayunga, because it is very clear. The DR forms are all available. And that's why she has said, let me go to court, so that they also be able to tally. And so, the same way, we have put the regime to test and exposed them all through. We want to put the courts of law to test. Because these DR forms belong to the Electoral Commission of this Biabakama man. So the results are very clear. We want court to also tally using their calculator, and then they tell the world. And that is why she has decided to go to court. Because it's important that they also put to the test. And that's why we want to do this. Now, Biabakama and his team of thugs have still refused to give us tally sheets. Now, tally sheets are meant to be given to all the participating candidates immediately after the declaration. They decided to walk away in shame, and you saw all of them hiding in capes and masks, went away in total shame, because they knew what they had just done was foolish. And they have to date refused to give us the tally sheets. Those tally sheets belong to us, belong to our candidate, and we demand them, we want them. And so we are not going to request Biabakama and team that please give us his tally sheets. He's a lawyer, whatever. He knows the law. So we want those tally sheets so that your Thagare Biabakama and the rest of you and all those that you have nurtured. Imagine you go down with a record that for you, you have mastered the art of nurturing, recruiting and nurturing thugs like yourself. So we are going to insist to make sure we get these tally sheets. We need them. Even as our candidate goes to expose this whole mess in courts of law. Again, for emphasis, we are not going to court simply because we believe that the courts are awesome. No, we are saying here is the evidence, which, by the way, we are going to show you. We made copies of all our DR forms. We have them here. We are going to avail them, even to you, the media, so that you can also calculate. And I would like to implore my colleagues in the media, you're my colleagues as in the media for 14 years, let's dig this issue deeper. This is no longer an issue of NUP. It's an issue about our country. And I've seen some people in the NRM have also showed concern, and they've said, wait a minute. We belong to NRM, but no, we did not win Kayunga. You've seen those people. On social media, they're saying, no. This is not right. So this is no longer an issue of NUP. No. It is an issue of our country. That electoral processes have become a joke. What I'm telling Ugandans is that no, voting does not matter anymore. Maybe Museveni should just wake up and tell us that, you see, I've become like Idi Amin Dada. I am going to rule by decree. Then we figure out what to do. We go and look for Sabasaba. Like they went to Tanzania, brought Sabasaba for Idi Amin Dada. He should stop pretending. So I'd like to implore colleagues in the media, please look at these DR forms. Tell the world. Because they keep driving the narrative. No, NUP is telling lies. You will take a look at the DR forms as well and tell the world what exactly happened in Kayunga. You see. Now, you know an apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So I don't know that Chobutunji just circled the theft from Kabakumba Masiko. Clearly the family is a family full of thieves. This Jennifer woman is the one that was in Jinja in 2021, the election in January. You remember the confusion. So she has now become a consultant in Thagare. And that's why they shipped her and took her to Kayunga. You know, Ugandans, these are the real enemies of our country. These are the real enemies of progress. These are your enemies. I hope that you can begin to treat them as such, as enemies of Uganda. That when they show up for functions, I don't know, church or whatever, don't even give them a seat, a chair to sit, because they are thieves, they are thugs. They are the ones derailing our country. Reject them. Reject these thugs as much as you possibly can. They are derailing our country. They are pulling down our country. And so we need to show them that they are thieves, that they are thugs. We need to excommunicate them totally and also. Because you see, when they do these stupid things, and then tomorrow they come for functions, you give them a microphone. How? You give them a chair to sit at the front. How? We need to wake up, Ugandans. We really, 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 really need to wake up. Our candidate has had a chat with us as the leadership of the party. And she has decided that she's going to go to court with all our DR forms, which clearly show that she won. And the reason she says she's doing this is not so much because she believes in the courts of law, but it is to say, look, you have always said, okay, how have you won? The DR forms are here, they are very clear, they show who has won. She's taking them to court, for court to also count. Maybe they have a better calculator than that of Biabakama, so that they also calculate. And then they tell the world who won in Kayunga, because it is very clear. The DR forms are all available. And that's why she has said, let me go to court, so that they also be able to tally. And so, the same way, we have put the regime to test and exposed them all through. We want to put the courts of law to test. Because these DR forms belong to the Electoral Commission of this Biabakama man. So the results are very clear. We want court to also tally using their calculator, and then they tell the world. And that is why she has decided to go to court. Because it's important that they also put to the test. And that's why we want to do this. Now, Biabakama and his team of thugs have still refused to give us tally sheets.
Wamutale Center ya Electoral Commission. Nayenga ne NUP abantu abo be yawayo Electoral Commission be bantu be yatekamu obwesigwa okubeera in charge of results za Honorable Chairperson Omulonde Nakwede Ariage. Echi byengendo okwogerako ngenda byogera mu summary. Ekisookera ddala okuva akalulu ekalangirirwa waliwo ebibadde bitambula naye nga ebimu biri mu propaganda ng'ebimu bituufu. Obulambulukufu bw'ensonga ku lunaku olw'ennyinyi olw'okulonda ku Lwokuna nga ttiimu ya NUP twakuŋŋanya DR forms nebaza abantu bonna abatuyambako okumeka sure DR forms zituuka we zirina okugatibwa. Kayunga ina polling stations 338 twakuŋŋanya DR forms ku lunaku olwo 335. We missed out on 3 DR forms on that very day. Netugata results era twakozesa about 2 hours okugata results zonna because we had a computerized system which I developed personally. Naye twagata results ezo era results ze mwalaba ezafuluma principles eyafulumya ne secretary general zaali ziva mu electoral management committee ya NUP ne team eyali in charge of results zaali ntuufu from 335 declaration forms. Netugenda ku Electoral Commission okuobservinga engatta yaabwe ey'obululu. Ekyatuukawo mu process ey'okugatta twagenda okulaba nga okusinziira ku declaration forms ze tuyina awamu batusala obululu ewalala ne bongera muwonge. Ku toto gye eyafulumizibwa Harriet Nakwedde yalina obululu 3,152,212 ye yaffe gye twagatta from declaration forms ezo eziri awo, nga wa NRM muwonge alina obululu 2,661 missing out on 3 polling stations. We twagenda ku tally center batandika okututolako obululu nga we bongera muwonge. Ekisinga okukwasa ennaku nti eyali abikola we twayimuka okuteekayo eddoboozi nti waliwo ebikyusiddwa, yatugamba nti bye mulina mu bisigaze mu declaration forms ze nangirira byenfunye. Kitegeeza okubeera kwaffe mu tally center kulinga okutalinaaki makulu. Ye statement gye yakola ne tusooka ne tusirika lwa nsonga twagenda okulanga ne bwamugattako era tagenda tuwangula. Ne twagenda otuuka ekiseera nga tandise omwongera polling station y'emu yatuwa obululu 7 naawe wenaale mu bululu 6 naye nga polling station eyo afuna obululu 127 oli nga afunyeyo obululu 16. So kumuwa 600 ne tugamba agirabba tukyali bulungi, n'amuwa 4 n'amuwa 7. Ekyasinga otunyiza kumuwa 8 emirundi 2 ng'ate polling station zamuwerako 8 zirina abalonzi 8. Yensonga lwaki John Mary Sebufu yafulumizibwa nga tugezaako teekawo embeera eyo fene tusigalamu. Naye okugatta obululu kugenda okumala okugwa because observers we tallying nga naffe tutaalinga byasoma n'aba media nga bataalinga. Twagenda okumaliriza nga okusinziira ye ku byasomye nga returning officer Nakedde Harriet alina obululu 3,112 ng'owa NRM alina obululu 2,600 okusinziira ku byasoma. But waliwo gundi njagala play katono just for a second. Njagadde kupulingako eddoboozi muliwulire. Tuyina recording eya returning officer ng'asoma obululu okuva bwe yatandikira paka bwe yamalira. Naye wa following eddoboozi lye ng'asoma obululu Nakwedde Harriet ng'amusazeko ze yamusalako nga n'oli amwongedde bye yamwongera. Nakwedde alina 3,112 owe NRM alina 2,600. Kitegeeza we yamalira okulangira byalangira wadde yali amaze otubba. Twali tusuubira returning officer okujja asome ti Nakwedde Harriet alina 2,112 owe NRM alina 2,600. Naye zawera saa 11 ng'amaze natuka tulindeko just 10 minutes agenda kujja abalangirira results ku ssaawa 11. Byabakama ne bakomishona banne babbi banne ne bayingira ne batuula mu tally center ne batandika okwekuba obwama okuva ssaawa 11 paka ssaawa ze balangirira nga zigenda wera ssaawa 4 tewali kyali kigenda maaso mu tally center okujjako okukebera empapula zaabwe we banyumyamu we beetooloola we bakola ki for 5 hours nga beetooloola bwetooloozi. At the end of that day returning officer najja ne declaration ya results nasoma we NRM alina 3,118 ne Nakwedde alina 3,113 a difference of obululu 450. We expected the returning officer okulangirira bye yasoma. Kitegeeza nti ne bye yasoma tabirinako evidence ne result yasembayo gye yawa tagirinako evidence. Ekisinga okwasa ennaku we yajja okusoma results n'amala okusoma results ng'alangidde wa NRM we yamala omukwasa declaration form ye emulaga nti yawangudde ne mu ntebe teyatuulamu yafuluma bufulumi emmotoka zaalibwa bweru nga zaaka ne babyakama ne ttiimu ye yonna ne badduka emisinde. Tebaatuwako ene document eraga bye baagatta. So olwaliro kye tusaba Electoral Commission etuwe tally sheet eraga obululu bwe bakwedde ne bwe balaga nti muwonge bwe yawangulirako. Tukakase nti ne bye baasoma mu video ze tulina bitalinga n'ebiri mu tally sheets zaabwe. So kyekyali ekayunga ebisingaawo waliwo propaganda yabaddewo nti wabaddewo declaration forms tezaali original na biki. Declaration forms zino zaali signed by polling officers aba Electoral Commission ne ba agents abaffe n'aba NRM. Ate ekyewuunyisa ekisinga okuwa essanyu nti ebiri mu declaration forms bino bye biri mu video nga returning officer asoma results za Nakwedde ne muwonge. kati ebiri mutale sheet tetwagala byawukane ne bino ayita tetwagala byawukane na biri mu video then kitegeeza ne court nayo egenda kwambulwa nga Honorable Nakweddewo yagambye yeetaaga okulaba amazima ne wena abategalabye bana Uganda bagalabye already neyanza nnyo neyanza again.
I'm going to invite Chairman Nyanzi, who is the head of mobilization. He was also camped in Kayunga. Please come and speak to us briefly.
People power, our power. People power, our power.
Kunga. Kunga. Kunga.
Hello.
Kunga.
Banyabo ne basebo, so Mr. President, preserved. Waliwo akayimba kenjagala sindikira abavubuka be Kayunga. Kagamba mwebala abaana, mwebale
bamusayi muto,
mwebala abaana, mwebale nnyo, mwebale Nakwedde, obalabisa, mwebale mwena, mwebale. Kunga Nakwedde, kunga. Kunga people power, kunga. Kunga Kyagulanyi, kunga. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. Akapya. Mr. President, for me I have good news for you and team and the entire fraternity of People Power and National Unity Platform. We won in Kayunga. We trounced them even when you were not there. A bunch of goons led by President Museveni, bannamulya muyinza okwewuunya okubeera mu nsi nga pulezidenti wayo tebatya muyita mubbi, tebatya muyita muyaaye, tebatya muyita mufere, naye nga taswala n'asigala ng'akola ebintu bye bimu. We were able to beat them. They were led by President Museveni, Nabbanja, Kigonya, Tango Doyi, Nabakooba, Senninde, Tadwongo, Byabakama, bonna twabazingako ne tubasula mu kasero nga tolinayo. Akitegedde akubenga ez'amaanyi. Because that means people power is everywhere. That means NUP is everywhere. Everybody is now NUP in Uganda. Muwonge teyafuna na bululu buwera 4,000. Teyafuna na bululu buwera 4,000 kubanga obulu babutikingira mayuge ne bavuga ekiro ne babuleeta ku polling stations ne babuteekawo ne balonda. So we were able to win those guys even when you are not there. Wali magere sebo ng'otudde ng'amaanyi go kamande zonna zokola, we could be able to execute them. Nebaza tiimu abali ekayunga mwekubireko mu ngalo. Now, I have some observations here. For me, I'm a parent and I'm very concerned about the young people, the youth. Museveni is not bothered about the damage he's causing and inflicting to the young generation. It's very, very unfortunate that he's teaching young people how to steal, how to grab things, how to get free things, and how to misbehave. We are very sympathetic to a woman called Kobutungi Jennifer, a younger woman who would be having a future. She has no future unless she comes out in the open and apologizes to the world. Kobutungi was doing the same work, the same malpractice in Jinja. When time came for Kayunga by-elections, she was transferred to Kayunga by-election to execute that duty. And indeed, we told Byamukama when we met in that meeting, nti mwajjayo omukazi wa mwono mulese wano ateke ebintu bino monkola. That is exactly what they did. It's very, very unfortunate. Kobutungi takyalina wabeera. Era ndowooza abavubuka mubuule omuwala oyo. Mubuule omuwala oyo naawe bbaawe bambi oli mubuzibu ajja kunyagako ebyo ne byonna bitwale. ko butunja alina ekizibu ne mu diaspora tasobola kulinnyayo talina wagenda kubeera kubanga kino ekintu kyafuuse historical. Oyinza otya okunyaga akalulu ka mukyala munno gwe muli myaka gye gimu omuntu abadde mu kalulu okumala ebbanga lyonna ate nga n'akalulu ako kasikira mufu Sserubogo feffeka nga yakawangula. So ekyo ekikolwa kya bulabi President Museveni kyokola kyozimba mu bavubuka. It's very very unfortunate and we are looking at you and your children. Banyawe ne basebo, I'm also very concerned, Mr. President, about the land people. About degree, about sivetayi, abantu abo society ya bajononye. Abantu bonna bonna bali ku panel, the commissioners, the chairperson electoral commission, whom we call Lord Chairman. Sir, Lord Chairman, your lordship when we are addressing him. Now, which lordship is that? Justice how? A judge is supposed to provide true and rightful judgment. Eribanna Uganda nadanga a chairperson of electoral commission. Naye omukulu omusajja oyo wenvi yajja ne balanga obululu n'abalagira babukyusa. I called him at night. By mistake he picked our phone and we told him that they are chasing away our commissioners from the Tally Center. The guy couldn't, respond. Ne babasibira wabweru okumala essaawa 2 nengenda ne twagala okulwana era ne baza madamu Namboze kubanga twalwana olutalo okuyingiza shelf oyo Nasif najja omuyingiza mu Tally Center and it was late. Bamala essaawa 12 nga tebalangirira akalulu ka LC5. Yes, a single district. So abayivu mutusobedde banyabwe ne bassebo mwe muli mu nguzi mwe muli mu kimu. Mr. President, I'm going to mobilize the informal sector to raise up once again. Bajja genda basinkane abantu bano mu ofisi zaabwe ekiseera nga kituuse babajjeyo tufune abantu abajja okutereza eggwanga lino. Kubanga sebo bine ebintu babikola tulaba. I would also like to appeal to the media, ladies and gentlemen. The media. The majority of people running this media, the social media are young people. Kizibu okusanga omuntu w'emyaka 5 abantu mwenna muli bato. We don't know why really. Why you don't release the exact news? Bane munsonyiwe temunkyawa abamawulire muli bazimu nzo kunkuba. Naye tuweegayiridde mutuyambe. We have a society, we have a country to protect. Please media. TV ezimu ziri very dangerous. Wanga mawulire agamu nagala basijja kwogera ku TV ezimu wano nga bagamba NRM wangudde wa Nuupu n'obululu webuti ne wa Nuupu tamatidde agambye ayinza okugenda mu kooti. Bino ebirala ebyaliwo nga babala obululu ne gye mwagenda mu field lwaki temubyogerako banyabo ne bassebo. Munisiidinga ensi yonna osanga Oscar n'osanga omuwala asavinga mu hoteri olwokuba yalabe NTV oba NBS oba yalabe ku Vision ntino NUP bagiwangudde kituufu batuwangula. Mwe abamawulire abali wano temumanyi kyaliyo e Kayunga. Bwe bibanga nanyini TV atya okugoba ku mulimu. Caption eyo gyeko ogitwale ogituweereze tugisasanye ku social media. Tubeegayiridde ensi mugitta. The country is dying in your hands because your publishers mwe mwina capacity publishing ebintu bino. Please media mfukamiddeko mu mutima mutuyambe ekiseera kya Museveni kiweddeko. Kino kitutawanya kati wano nena mwe kijja batawanya and it is disturbing you indirectly. Babafuganga baagala bamwe kufuna emirimu mala kukola kina. So tubegayide media muve mutuyambe. Now this is my appeal to the general public. There are some people who came out and started blaming us for this. This is not a failure. This is an achievement. It's a great achievement. This man tumugonza tumukubira tumutadde atandise genda kubba bululu na kusulanga atunula olwakaluka Kayunga nga mugamba tuli banafu omusajja tumukubye tumugonzezza. President Museveni doesn't have any right to deny us our voting rights. He wants to discourage the young people, the youth and Ugandans at large to be involved in the election process. Nebigenda maaso byonna bikwatagana okulonda. Kyagezaako okukola netajja kyakivinga. He is deceiving himself. I am assuring you, Mr. President, we are going to be more vigilant. Bagala ekoti bwegwa tujja mitiyana nze nja kugirawo kuzoganya immediately ayongole akola ebyekisiru ayongera akola ebintu ebimuswaza abadde avuma banne nti mbizzi bikola ki ebyembizi ebisinga byetwalabye Kayunga. He looks more pig than the people is abusing. Nabuza abantu be Kayunga kati bakirabyeko nabuza abantu be Kayunga ndi banyama ne basebani akasuka bomu abantu ne bogera erinnya ne mbabuza ani atema abantu ebijambia abantu ne baddamu erinnya lye limu eritambula ku lukalu lwa Afrika banyabo ne basebo kakati mbekyusiriza banyabo ne basebo nammwe banna Uganda abandaba nze sikyabalabawo tuli mu kuzoganya ebyo nebena mbiraba mutudde butuuzi mwerabire nti kuli ya leero yokka eya leero muginoonye naye nammwe muveeyo mutuyambe bannayuganda abasirisi obusirisi bwaba w'ensonga tusitukire wamu ekinyigo w'Ekayunga kijja kugwa Masaka ekinyigo w'Masaka kijja kujja Jjinja. Ugandans wake up, you have not done enough. Our president yavaayo n'ayogera ebintu bingi nnyo n'akola ebintu bingi nnyo n'abayita ne mutalabikako kati ataba mudda ku social media ne munenya. Come out Ugandans, this is your country. You have nothing to lose because even if you wait you lose it later. Mwebale nnyo Mukama abeere nammwe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Muntu wa watu. Muntu wa wantu.
Abyogedde. All right, let me now invite our Secretary General David Lewis to come and address us.
Muntu wa watu.
People power, our power, NUP, everywhere. For those who read the Bible, there was a man called Saul. When God rejected Saul, babaita Saulo mu Uganda. When God rejected Saul, he did everything possible to remain the king. He did everything possible, started hunting David everywhere he was. Remember, David had already been appointed and anointed the king of Israel. But Saul continued to fight. What I want to assure Ugandans, I've been noticing social media, many people saying, now what do we do? They are very, very discouraged. For me, I think Kayunga was a great victory for the people of Uganda and for NUP. It was yet another opportunity for us to not only expose the dictatorship, but most importantly, to show how weak Museveni and his people are at this particular point. Where they take the entire state machinery to Kayunga, they block us from campaigning, they block our president and put him under house arrest, and they don't stop at that. They engage in a lot of ballot stuffing. They arrested, the people who were arrested in Kayunga who are here, please put up your hand, including the members of parliament. You can see all these people. All these people were arrested. You see? Can you please stand up just for 1 minute? And then you see. You can have your seats. These are the people who were arrested in Kayunga, including members of parliament, the mayors, the people that we had sent to supervise the election. The dictatorship arrested them, intimidated them, and by 6 a.m. they started distributing pre-ticked ballot papers. Our people went to polling stations early morning and they found that some of the ballot boxes were full of votes. Now, the other thing that we gained from this election is to show the whole world what happened in January. Kayunga was just a microcosm. It was just a mirror of what happened in January. There are so many people, especially the elites and intellectuals, who sometimes say things and you just wonder where they live. People were saying, you know, NUP, you lost the January election, genuinely accept and try harder and prepare for the next election. You know, you have gotten some MPs. I can tell you if it was not for rigging, we would be having a minimum of 200 members of parliament in that parliament. Because our people campaigned and they were winning. Even with all the things that they did. Of course, you remember what they did for the president. I was there, I was seeing the things they were doing. That is why, after the elections, you remember what happened, the operation launched by the crime intelligence, military police, CMI and all that, looking for young people who had DR forms. They arrested them. People who had our DR forms from northern Uganda were arrested. Western Uganda were arrested. At that time, DR forms became the most sought after commodity in this country. They were looking for them because they knew that they did not win. With all they did, we were still able to collect about 26,000 DR forms. You remember we brought them here and showed them to the media. Even the 26,000 DR forms that we had, when we added their own computation from other polling stations, which were already rigged in their favor, we still had 54.19 as our victory. You remember, for the president, you only need 50 plus 1. But even with all they did, when we got the 26,000 DR forms we had and added the results which they gave for the remainder of the polling stations where they had stolen our DR forms, we were still beating Museveni. But they went on and declared him. You remember, we went to court. Some people say, oh, you had all this, why did you come out of court? Because some of those people have very short memories. You remember, we tried to take this evidence to Owinyidolo and his court, and they did what? They refused to take that evidence. They throw it out and did not take it. So this election, this particular election, was just in Kayunga. In January, of course, they switched off the internet, switched off ordered the radio stations and TVs not to cover exactly what was going on. So it was not very easy for someone to see the picture. But I think Kayunga gave a clear picture of what happened countrywide, where an election is taken over by the military. The RDCs from all over the country were deployed in Kayunga. Nabanja and her team of thugs were there. Todong and others were camped there. And they committed the most sacrilegious violation against the people of Uganda in broad daylight. For us as NUP, we did everything that we could do in the circumstances. We campaigned, Chairman Nyanzi and the teams, the team in Kayunga, our comrades did a commendable job, did everything that we could do. Supported our candidate, everything that we could do. But the dictatorship does such a thing. Now, here is a summary, and we are going to give each one of you a copy. For those of you who may not want to, who may not have the time, we are going to give you copies of these DR forms, but also a summary of what happened. This summary here shows that even after the ballot stuffing, even after every single thing they did, this shows you the kind of lead we had or we have against their candidate. This tally here only captures 330 DR forms, because as you know, at some of the polling stations the voting did not take place. At some polling station, I think the presiding officer was even arrested because of ballot stuffing and all that. Arrested by the people, not by the regime. Arrested by the people, and whatever happened. So this is a tally of the 330. And if you look at, even after all the rigging they had done, that man called Mwonge Andrew won at only 53 polling stations. Nakwete Harriet, our candidate, won at 277 polling stations. Now you can imagine, with this kind of evidence, and someone goes ahead and declares something completely different. So we are going to give you this. Over 120 of our people were arrested, but we understand that many more people are being arrested and taken straight to Chitaria, not even through the courts of law. They're just being arrested from Kayunga and taken straight because the military took over the entire district. Now, even when, and I am glad Nassif explained all this, that even at the Tale Center, because we were keeping in touch at all times, even when Chobutunji had declared whatever she wanted, we were even leading by far. So for me, it's a very unfortunate thing, but also it is, you know, she has not yet officially took on the role of administering the authority that the people gave her. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it has clearly showed what we were telling Ugandans, what happened in January. And some people had doubts about it. Now everyone knows which country we are in, and everyone knows the kind of elections organized under Museveni. And my question has been, if you, General Museveni, do not believe in elections, why do you organize them? Why do we spend lots of money to organize elections only for you to come and declare whatever you want? What is that? Because now, if you thought that you, by rigging us or by grabbing our victory, you were weakening us, I think you have weakened yourself even further, and everyone here in Uganda and abroad can see the kind of lack of shame that you have. Abooluganda abasoma Bayibuli waliwo Sekabaka gwe bali bayita Saulo. Saulo Katonda yamujjako omukono gwe n'afuka amafuta ku Daudi. Omuddu we n'agamba nti ono yagenda kufuuka kabaka wa Isirayiri. Kakati Saulo n'agezaako n'akola buli kimu kyonna kyonna. Actually newankubadde Katonda yali afuseeko Daudi amafuta n'agamba gwagenda okufuga eggwanga lya Isirayiri. Njagala bajjukizaamu abasome byawandiikibwa nti Saulo yalemerako n'atwala n'emyaka egiwerako n'agezaako okukola buli kimu kyonna kyonna okulaba ng'asigaza entebe eyo. Naye ekyenjagala kuzaamu bannayuganda amaanyi nti Katonda bw'aba akuggyeko omukono gwe ne bw'okola ki, namuwulira ng'agamba nti ne bwe tuzina ekiro kyonna kyonna nti NRM yeesalako. Naye njagala mumujjukiza nti waliwo Katonda yakola ensi n'eggulu. Oyo ne bw'okola ki ne bw'okola ki ye Katonda, era asigala nga ye Katonda. Era eddoboozi ly'abantu eddoboozi lya Katonda. Abantu b'e Kayunga baayogedde mu bwatu ng'ensi yonna ekiraba, gwe n'osalako n'olangirira ebibyo. Naye obudde bugenderera, era essaawa yonna ekikuta obudde akitegedde akubire Mukama engalo ez'amaanyi. Ebyali e Kayunga bitulaga ekyali mu kalulu ka January omwaka guno. Abantu abamu babadde batugambanga nti temulina bujulizi, temulina kitwaleeta no DR forms ne tuzibalaga. Byonna byali mu kalulu mwabiraba. Naye ebiseera ebyo kati DR forms emitwalo 26 ze twalina bwe twagezaako ziteeka ku website yaffe, mumanyi mwenna kye baakola. Baasalako website yaffe nebeera nga tekyaswalulira results ezo. Naye kati kino kize nga kizibu, naye ate nga mukisa gw'amaanyi nnyo okulabisa bano abantu ensi yonna yonna ebategeere. Kati wano tulina DR forms zonna ezaava e Kayunga. Abamawulire muzikwate mukole computation yammwe nammwe ng'abantu, ensi mugirage. Eno ye summary eraga obululu candidate waffe yafuna ne candidate waabwe bwe yafuna. Nerabidde bagamba mu Luzungu nti leero twawandise ebbaluwa nga tusaba tale sheet. Mumanyi kye batuzeemu ti office yaabwe bagigaddewo bagenze mu Christmas. Oshegera, we've written to the Electoral Commission this morning to say give us a tally sheet, because the tally sheet should be given to people at the tally center. But remember, the moment they read the results, they just ran away. So this morning I wrote a letter saying our candidate needs to go to court, therefore give us a tally sheet. When she reached there, the first person who saw it, they were about to sign it. And then they took it to another person. The person said, no, this one, no. After a few minutes, they said, you know what? We have closed for Christmas. Therefore, we are not able to give you the tally sheet. Tally sheet eberaga chi? Eberaga bululu chi candidate ani we yajja ku polling station chi. So kakati batugamba nti bagenze mu Christmas. Of course bali bagezaako bijingirira okuwandika ebyabwe. Bwe tubasaba DR forms tebazina. Kati kyemanyi kusaawa zino bali mugezaako okola forged tally sheet, okola forged DR forms n'ebirala. Naye bw'otunuulira zino DR forms zonna ziriko emikono gy'aba presiding officer. Bonna bawandiika ne ba agent baffe. ba agents ba candidates nabo ne basainingako. So tebalina ngeri ki gye bagenda okujingirira zino DR forms kubanga DR forms zino zentuufu ze twaja mu field. Ekisembayo, of course bakwata abantu baffe president of namusibira munju era nze kyemanyi byonna byonna babikola because of one thing. Bawe mukani kyabalabisa nnyo gwomanyi state machinery yonna yina okuggwera Kayunga nga kwotadde mukulembeze waabwe notekako Nabanja secretary general waabwe deputy head of mobilization bonna ne batwala ne treasury yonna ne bagitwala Kayunga naye abantu ne bagamba mmwe ne bemuleta wano ebyapa nalaba Mwai Museveni ng'agenzeyo n'ebyapa ng'abigabira abantu Nabanja ng'akola yekola obuntu awo ng'alinye ku kimotoka ki tractor n'ebirala abantu beekanga ne bagamba ffe tumanyi kye twagala era ne baba rejectinga. So oluvannyuma lw'okukola investment yonna abantu ne babakyawa ne baba rejectinga ne basalawo nti mmwe katubawe RDC omulala era ne bamulangirira nga candidate waffe ayogedde. So kyanaku nnyo naye nga bwe tubazizamu amaanyi kino kibadde kirungi nnyo nti beerabisizza bananga abawaddemu amaanyi olw'akalulu kano nze munsobera kano akalulu kali badde kabazaamu amaanyi ne mumanyi nti kati dictator atuuse okukola ebintu. Omanye edda baatugambanga nti temubeera na ba agent temubeera na DR forms kati muleete obujulizi kati muleete ki ate ne bwe baali babba obululu baali bawubisa amagezi mukko wakiri oli n'agezaako n'ateekako n'akozesa amagezi naye kati ne bakozesa obusiro obwenkanidde awo ne babeera ne results naye ne balangirira bw'obabuuza nti 31,000 ze mwaba muwonge yazijjawa mwazijjawa tebasobola nabagamba. So nze ndi musanyufu nnyo nti beerabisiza okutuuka awo ate bakimanyi nti ensi ebakyaye nnyo. Oyo muwonge sisubira nti yali asobola n'okugyayo bululu 10 chairman mpulidde omuwadde obululu bungi nnyo 10,000 nga tasobola kugyayo na bululu 10 Kayunga. Bw'obuuza abantu ani yamulonda era n'abantu abalala bagendayo baba failinga nga bw'ojjukira bulungi abamu baali eyo nga bakomplaininga tebalina na transport abazaayo gye baava. So byebyo bannange kansabe vice president waffe aje era ayite president waffe ayogereko eri eggwanga. Our power, people power, our power, NUP everywhere.
Oritia. People power, our power, NUP and everywhere. Yes, Your Excellency, the de facto and de jure President of Uganda, honorable members of Parliament, and all protocol observed, the media fraternity that has remained with the people of Uganda. Thank you so much. Since January 14th, I have been standing here in Ngankaka Sadala, northern Uganda. We have never voted Museveni. I've been saying that. I've been, confirming that. You have seen what happened in the whole of northern Uganda and Uganda, except Buganda for some reason, which they thought they would use, like we use lip balm and lipstick, my lips are glossy. It is not. They are not. So, Mr. President, welcome back, because we won in Kayunga yet again. Congratulations. Congratulations, Honorable Chairperson Harriet Nakwede Kafero. I am just briefly going to speak to the hearts of the women of Uganda, the women of Africa, who are still in your closets. Sin came through Eve. The world, humanity, and redemption came through Mary, the Immaculate Conception, with whom I share a birthday, 8th of September. It is our battle as the women of Uganda. We are no longer going to be ticking off, the women in leadership and women in politics, they have made us look like the devil himself through the daughter of Kava Kuba Masikiyo. I don't know. Absolutely. The daughter of Kava Kuba Masikiyo. Yes. We won without any doubt. These people have no shame at all. They trump up anything. Or you are spreading COVID, or you are doing whatever other disease. They now have lost it all and all and all. Let's not lose heart, because I said it in October last year when they were offering the billions and what, to buy her and so on. I said, pressing a panic button. Now actually the panic button is pressing them. So I want to congratulate Ugandans. I want to congratulate National Unity Platform Party. I want to congratulate my sister Harriet, because indeed the second RDC of Kayunga district, I don't know where he's going to sit, but for us, we are with the people. Kubanga, Vox Populi, Vox Dei. The voice of the people is the voice of God. The voice of the people is the voice of the divine. Let us not give up. I invoke the religious leaders. I invoke the cultural institutions. I invoke all those who are still in your closets. Please. It's no longer, can we do it? We do not have a choice. We do not have any choice. In fact, right now I am going to be part of the team that is going to ensure that Biabakama, your whatever ship, your liar ship, I think. Yeah, because you have totally ashamed the sanctity of the judiciary. Totally, entirely. And also, I don't blame you, because greed makes us lose our dignity, identity, and humanity. These people we are dealing with are no longer human beings. They lost their humanity. They lost their identity. They lost whatever, it is to be a human person. But we are not going to lament. We invoke our campaign train commitments that we left the book of Lamentations. We are now closing the book of the Acts of Apostles, because we are going to Revelation, a new Uganda. And for that matter, I am inviting His Excellency President, the de facto, de jure President of the Republic of Uganda, the most intelligent, vibrant, vicious generation not yet. His Excellency Chagulanyi Robert Sentamu. People power, our power. Oritia.
Thank you, Madam Deputy President. People power, our power. NUP everywhere. When the struggle is over, we shall wear the victor's crown. Wear the victor's crown. Wear the victor's crown. When the struggle is over, wear the victor's crown in the new Uganda. Olutalu nga luwedde, tuliyambale ngule, tuliyambale ngule, tuliyambale ngule. Olutalu nga luwedde, tuliyambale ngule, tulivimba mu Uganda empya. People power, our power, NUP everywhere. Bana mtiame. Thank you. Thank you very much, Comrade Deputy, fellow leaders, honorable members. All leaders in your different profiles, our friends from the who refuse to lament, we decide to choose faith over fear. So in that spirit, I want to congratulate the people of Kayunga. I want to congratulate you, Madam Chairperson. I want to congratulate all the leaders that were involved in that bloody election but secured our victory. We won. We got the victory. We have it. Just the cowards did not declare us. But we are the winners. The people of Kayunga, please carry back the message to them. Tell them the country and the world is proud of them. The entire world was watching this election. Kayunga was Uganda summarized. And ladies and gentlemen, Kayunga removed any doubt about what we told the world after the January 14th election. And today, I tell you that people are not wondering anymore who murdered Fefe Kaserubogo and why he was murdered. Now we know. Friends, where we are now goes further to show us the realities of our country. Museveni, in my view, is at his lowest of morality. In the past, he would use some sense at least. But now, he is all out. I was wondering when one of the speakers addressed Museveni as President Museveni. He is not president. If he is, what am I? Museveni is not president. Museveni has never been elected to be president of Uganda. Never in history. Museveni is a rebel that took up arms against what he called a rigged election. But history shows us it was not even 10% as rigged as he rigs elections today. So this is a rebel, and rebels are characterized with three things, among others. That is lying, that is stealing, and that is killing. So for anybody who expects Museveni to behave like a statesman, you surprise me. We said it in the past. We're not just realizing who Museveni is, we're only realizing how low he's prepared to go. But we knew that he was a crook. We knew that. And we told the world when we were going for the 2021 elections, we told them that we do not expect Museveni and his rigging machinery to announce us. You all saw Byabakama and the way he was conducting himself, right from when he, together with the police, denied us opportunity as provided by the law to go around the country consulting, and the consequent things he did, including blocking us from campaigning within the campaign. So we did not expect Byabakama to declare us, but we went ahead to go into the election because we told them that either we will get our victory announced, declared, or we will be able to use this election, the 2021 election, to open the eyes of the people of Uganda and expose the regime to the maximum. That we did. But as if that was not enough, Museveni gave us yet another opportunity. He did not wait for us to expose him. He exposed himself. The coward that Museveni is, I get disturbed when they call him a general. What kind of general is such a coward? What kind of general that cannot face a moral fight, a moral contestation? He surrounded my house, put me under house arrest, and I said, look at this. I did not step a foot in Kayunga, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody was in Kayunga. Billions of state resources were deployed in Kayunga. We beat Museveni hands down. Museveni, we beat you hands down. I challenge you to one election, even in your home district. A free and fair election. We beat him. We beat him so bad to an extent when they said, okay, now we don't care what the world thinks. We don't even care what our families think. And that's what they did. So we are not here just crying foul. We are here to reassert ourselves to the world, to the nation, but also to laugh at you, Mr. Museveni. Shame on you. Friends, I want you to know that this time around, like in the recent past, Museveni is trying as much as possible to discourage us from elections. You saw what he did earlier on this year, went for the elections. But even when we took a case to court, he gave yet another opportunity to the courts. The people of Kayunga, Museveni has special interest in that place. Some of us who pay attention to history, you would realize why he even blocked Kabaka from going to Kayunga. The leaders of Kayunga know how rich Kayunga is in terms of gold, in terms of natural resources, land, forests, etc. And you know how much your land has been targeted for land grabbing. So Museveni wants to take over Kayunga under whatever circumstances. The chairperson of Kayunga, the newly elected chairperson, Madam Nakwede Harriet Kafero, has told us that he's going to court. I shared with her, I told her that that is only an opportunity to once again expose the judiciary as well. The same way it was in January, when Owinyi Doro behaved in the most illegal manner. So Mr. Owinyi Doro and your judiciary, we are coming to you again. We're offering you yet another opportunity to undress yourself. They would claim that we didn't have all the declaration forms on the presidential elections. Here they are now. And we are not crying to you to give us justice. We are asking you to spare yourself and your credibility and your legacy. It is you that we are giving a favor. Take it or leave it. We are not begging you. Fellow Ugandans, I want you to know that Museveni is provoking us. He's provoking the worst in us. Museveni wants us to be violent so that he gets justification to kill us. He's speaking the same words that Obote was saying to him. We have, as a leadership, encouraged our people to keep non-violent. And yes, we are non-violent. But I want to tell you that with time, we are losing the ability to hold back some people. While we are violent, while we are non-violent, while we are peaceful, while we are constitutional, that is us. Many Ugandans are oppressed and they want to resort to various means. And we are not going to stop those who want to resort to insults and those who want to resort to violence. We are only controlling ourselves as a leadership. It has been told to us since time immemorial that those who make peaceful change impossible make violent revolution inevitable. You are dealing with young people, angry and hungry young people, so don't mess with them. You better not. Now that we know that Museveni is trying to discourage us from elections so that we give up on them, he wants to discourage us from going for by-elections, because I've heard some voices saying no, elections don't make sense. Yes, they don't make sense in terms of legality, in terms of declaration of the rightful candidate, but they open up the eyes of the people. They are such a spark, and that's why we've been going for elections. So to you, Mr. Museveni, no, we are not. We shall continue going to the people, and you will continue exposing yourself until a time when you cannot do that nonsense anymore. And that time is soon coming. So, to you, Mr. Museveni, once again, we will not yield to your violence. No, we will not. We are not like you. If it was violence, we would have resorted to violence long time ago. Let the world know that you are the violent liar and we are the peaceful statesmen and women. To our leaders, the members of parliament, we've been telling you this right from the word go. We are reiterating the same thing. Those positions that you occupy are not positions to be comfortable. Those are positions, offices to use to further the struggle. They don't make sense. When we still have dictator Museveni seated on our heads. They don't. To other forces of change, all those that have been pushing for change in Uganda. I've read on social media about people that I hitherto had respect for, blaming the victims, blaming us for winning Kayunga and not being declared. Some are blaming me for being arrested in my home. I want you, brothers and sisters, to know that we see you by your actions, not by your words. And I want you to know that a dictator like Museveni will use you with or without your knowledge. They will try to use you to show an image of a disunited opposition. We've told you time and again that we are not the opposition. You can take that. We are not. We are the option. Okay? So it does not make sense at all for the world to see you fight against those people that are pushing into the same direction with you. Or else, that would be another opportunity for you also to expose yourself. We are fighting a dictatorship. And we expect you, as people that brag to have more experience than us, to know that. To know that a dictatorship will abuse any right. So for you to see a dictator rolling out in the most humiliating manner to your comrades or perceived comrades, and you come out to celebrate, I think that's rather shameful. So to fellow Ugandans out there, I've heard you many times ask me to come and tell you what to do. Are you sure you don't know what to do? I'm telling you today, please don't wait for me to tell you what to do. This is your country. I'm just another citizen of Uganda like you. And this generation is not a generation that picked those so-called elites. And I like how one of the comrades put it, was that comrade Nyanzi. Those so-called intellectuals are the misfortune of our country. Byabakama, he's a judge, musajja mulamuzi mulamba. But are you sure you would want him, you would want your 6-year-old son to exchange heads with Byabakama? Really? Singa bagamba omwana we myaka omukaaga kaba muteekeko mutoga Byabakama ne byabalowooza. Do you agree? You'd rather stay with your 6-year-old. So these are the people who exchanged whose brains and stomachs exchanged positions. We are on our own. You are on your own. The same way you were able to guard the vote in Kayunga, even without me, is the same way you can push this dictator out using any means necessary. So temuddeeyo kugamba bugambi titulinze president atubulire ekyokola mukimanyi. Organize, mobilize, make sure you make everybody understand why we are fighting this dictatorship. Then go ahead and do what? Fight. Like I said, comrades, we are non-violent. We are non-violent, but we don't have power over the violent ones. We promote non-violence because we don't believe, we are not like Museveni, we don't believe in violence at all. But I will tell you this, that there will be a time when Ugandans will stop listening to any voice of reason. That will be a dangerous time, and General Museveni, you're too old, you better not push the nation there. I will tell you that we shall continue using all methods, and we have quite a plenty of methods, including music. And even today, in fact now, yes. You can't come here. Friends, exposing this regime, you might think it does not yield. But the last 3 years, since Arua, we did not use violence, we did not use any guns because we don't have them. But Museveni has lost credibility internationally. He's investing billions of taxpayers' money. He's outdoing himself, embarrassing himself, and doing all those things, trying to respond to our non-violence. So, for us, we are team exposing, team kulabisa. So let's go ahead exposing this dictator. That is a very, very powerful weapon. Basebo neba nyabo. Okusoka nawulidde omu kubogeze nga ayita Museveni president. Saagala kuddamu kulira muntu ayita Museveni president. Kubanga si president. Oyo just muyekera yawamba eggwanga lyaffe tebamulondangako. Museveni muyekera atabayekera. Obuyekera kitegeeza ebintu bisatu. Kitegeeza kulimba, kitegeeza kubba, kitegeeza kutta. Era Museveni bye yajjanga akola talekerangaawo. Don't deceive yourself. Talekerangaawo kulimba, talekerangaawo kubba, talekerangaawo kola ki? Kutta. Muze mulaba nga bwalimba. Muze mulaba nga bwabba bwabasi yabbye asindika bantu be. Ensonga lwaki ayagala Kayunga kuba kati ssaawa zino gye basinga okubba amataka olw'ebyobugagga ebiri e Kayunga, omuli zaabu, omuli ebibira, omuli ettaka ly'abantu n'ebirala. Y'ensonga lwaki afiira Kayunga. So oyo just muyekera. Njagala okuyozaayoza chairperson waffe omulonde owa district ye Kayunga. Madam Nakwede, kansabe abantu bakubireko ku bugalo bw'amaanyi. People power, our power. Kunga Nakwede kunga, kunga Nakwede kunga. Kazi goli w'amaanyi. I salute you. I salute your undying spirit. You communicate not just to us, the leaders, not just to the members of NUP, not just to Ugandans, but to the world. Abantu babadde balaba akawululu ke Kayunga. Gabagamba lindako nakuba bawulira Nakwede ayinza okuba omusajja. Balaba mukazi ogalindako omukazi ndi mukazi. Otuweeseza nnyo ekitiibwa n'okusingira ddala oweeseza abakyala ekitiibwa. Ekyo bulijjo kye mbagamba nti revolution etalimu bakyala ebeera nfu. Otulaze nti omukyala asobola otukulembera mu lutalo ne tumugoberera. Igwe omukazi atalina munene nnyo kwenkana bali ababyesitezo mu omusoto. Obadde osuza Museveni nga teyeebase. Era kyeyo kyava yansibire waka. Naye era gwe ng'oli wamu ne bakulembeze banno mwakikola. Njagala tukubireko Honorable Tebandeke engalo ez'amaanyi. Njagala tukubireko Honorable Nsanja Mutaliiwo engalo ez'amaanyi. Njagala tukubireko ttiimu yaffe yonna Honorable Kalwanga, Madam Speaker Zaalulwinka, Comrade Nyanzi omuzoganyi, Waiswa Mufumbiro, bannange mwena mwebale. Abaabadde mu makomera Bamuddu awulira Baloisias Mukasa bakefotefu bannange. People power, our power, NUP everywhere. Kati Museveni bw'aba alowooza yatumazeemu amaanyi mugamba ddemu alowooze. Mumugamba ddemu alowooze. Yansibira ewaka n'agenda e Kayunga ne bakola buli kika ky'effujjo ne tumukuba akalulu. Ne babba ne kabalemerawo ne baga kati n'ebyokubaata tukyabyagala. Langirira bulangirizi. Tebabbye nakalu kuba kaabalemye. Babbye just ddoboozi ly'abantu. So mukyala yani ko butungi yeah. Ne mwami byabakama ne bosi wammwe Museveni asitamye mu ntebe yaffe tegituddemu asitamyemu nsitame. Temulowooza nti kyemwakoze kiina we kyatunyigidde, kiina we kyatumaliddemu amaanyi, kyamazeemu mmwe amaanyi, kyaweebudde mmwe kuba muli basajja bakulu. Musiba amatayi ne mumasikaredinga nga abaasoma, naye muli babbi ate muli baswavu. Mmwekubira ddala ku bosi wammwe Museveni. Naye kituwadde nnyo omukisa okubalabisa. Ne mutatulinde ebiseera ebimu nabbalabisa, mwe ne mukola ki? Ne mwerabisa. Baganda bange mwenna, njagala mumanye nti kati Museveni atuuse badikiteeta bonna bonna lebo gye yaasuse nawo. Kubanga nga Baganda bagamba nti olunatembwa tusooka gitta nnyindo nga tekyawunyiriza. Kati Museveni takyalaba nti akola nsobi, takyakiraba. Ko yalabye ng'asuwala nnyo, asibidde waka, asibye bannaffe bonna ne tumuwangudde. Tebaweeza na hafu ya bululu bwa kandidate waffe. N'akola kyakoze. Kikyagenderera. Museveni agezaako basoomooza mwe bannayuganda, agezaako tusoomooza tufuuke bafujjo nga ye. Tamanyi nti emirembe gye we yali yenkanira nga ffe byayita wayiseewo emyaka 40. So obukodyo bwe bukadde nnyo kuba omulembe guno. Ayagala basindikiriza mukwata mundu anonye wabatira. Nga bwe mbagambye bwezenga mbagamba nti ffe aba NUP tuli bantu baddembe, tetukkiriza mu kuttiŋŋana. Naye ate bannayuganda be tukiikirira mulimu abo abatagenda kugumiikiriza bya kitumbaavu bye. Era nina obweraliikirivu nti wakati mu kugamba abantu bakuuma eddembe nja kutuuka ekiseera nga sikyalina bigambo bye nsobola kukozesa kugamba bantu bamu abaagala okwenunula kati. So ekyo njagadde bwe baba bakyalinamu akawulira bakimanye. Kandidate waffe agenda mu kooti era twayogeddemu ne muyitiramu ne mugamba akalulu kano tekalina njawulo naka presidential election gye twakavaamu ke twawangula ne Museveni n'akola by'amanyi okukola ebyokukozesa amaanyi n'effujjo n'erangirira. Era nakwesa n'ekitongole ekiramuzi tukyogeddeko ne comrade Nakwedde tika twayagala bambula ntwambula poliisi yo nedda wali tekyalina kyegamba. Kati n'ekitongole ekirondesa ekikulirwa mwami byabakama tekikyalina kyekisobola tugamba. Kati ekitongole ekiramuzi ekikulemberwa mwami Owinyi-Dollo nakyo kirindirire. Kyeyambula dda mujjukira kubanga twakwata obujulizi bwonna nga zi DR forms boziraba twalina emitwalo 26 ne tuzibatwalira ekooti enkulu negamba ate twagala bujulizi. Ekooti nga bwoloopa omusango esaba bujulizi. Kati obujulizi tubulina wano tubalinze mu bugaani. Tubalinze mugambe nti abuleesa ayambadde gomesi myufu alina kwambala njeru. Kuba tubalinze mugambe ensonga eno neeno tubalindiridde. Ffe kitwagala okukozesa ekyokulwanyisa kyaffe ekisinga kwe kubalabisa kwe kubatunuza mu kamera ne mweyambula ne muswaluka. Era bwe mutyo bwe mugenze mukola. Njogeddeko wano mu luzungu nti Museveni ayagala tukyayisa kulonda, ayagala mukyawe ebyokulonda era mpulidde amaloboozi mangi nga gagamba ebyokulonda tubiveeko. Era Museveni akola bino buli we muyingira mu kalulu n'akola ebyekitumbaabwe ebisembayo n'atta abantu n'akuba abantu n'amaliza n'abba obululu. Bannange abamu ne bagamba katufunyeyo ki naye nze we nazanyiranga ebikonde ng'osobola okugenda n'ozannya nga liifu ye taata w'omwana gw'ogenda okuzannya naye ne muzannya rawundi ne muzimalako naye nga gw'ozannya naye tasobola na kuyimirira. So buli we bawanika gw'okubye nga tasobola na kulaba ensi yeebeeraba. So twagadde tubamulise era twagala genda mu maaso nga tubamulisa. Naye njagala okubulya mwami Museveni tetugenda kulekeraawo kwenyigira mu kulonda. Manyi bannange mwenna muweddemu amaanyi eyo naye njagala obbabulira tetukola Museveni kyayagala tukole. Tetukwata kkubo lyayagala tukwate. Tujja genda mu kulonda. Tujja gendayo nga tugukozesa ng'omukisa ogw'okukunga abantu n'okubalaga ekituufu. Singa mwava mu byokulonda bangi olunaku lwaleero singa tebakyapayinga attention singa tebakyafaayo kubikwata ku ggwanga. Nekibagamba baganda bange tetusuubirangako Museveni kugenda tulangirire. Era mu kulonda nga Museveni yakyafuga eggwanga lino ng'alifugisa omudumu gw'emundu tebugenda kola ki? Tagenda kulangirira abantu bawangudde. Kitegeeza nti wali kiggwanga kye lifunamu? No. Bwe yali si bwali. Tetupulaninga mugirako mu kalulu. Ne tupulaninga okukozesa buli kimu ekiriwo. Okukozesa buli kimu ekiriwo. Oba kalulu, oba kuzoganya, n'ebirala. Mbyogereko? Si kati. So okugenda maaso baganda bange munzikirize musitule eddoboozi eri abakulembeze bannaffe abali mu offices abali mu parliament n'ebifo ebirala. Mumanyi bulungi nnyo kati saawa zino enfa ya ffeffeka temukyasobola kwebuuza ani yatta ffeffeka. Ebigenda maaso biragira ddala tifeffeka bamutta basobole omujjawo nga abalemesa Kayunga abalemesa okubba ebyobugagga ebiriyo n'ettaka era nga baagala kola kino kye bakoze. Nenjagala obategeeza nti tebinnaba kuggwa. Tugendagenda mu maaso n'okukunga abantu baffe. Njagala n'obbasaba mwe bannayuganda bannange temulinda nze. Sinna bagamba kyakola ekyokola mukimanyi. buli omu manya nti ensi yiyo, manya nti bakufudde omusibe mu nsi yo, era nti olina kwenunula wekka ng'omuntu ng'okozesa buli ky'osobola okukola naddala nga kiri mu mateeka. Ffe ku mugigi guno tetwakuŋŋaana nga bannasoma, tetwakuŋŋaana nga bamanyi nnyo amateeka oba manyi nnyo amagye, ne twakuŋŋaana kubanga tuli bannayuganda. Buli munnayuganda ali wano n'aba atuwulira ku mikutu eyo gy'oli, njagala omanye nti n'ensi yiyo, era olina obwannannyini n'obuvunaanyizibwa bwe bumu n'abo abeeyita ba boss. Kale nno bwewabangawo ekikwetaagisa ositukirangamu, kuba nali ndabyeko nga musitukiddemu nga sinze mbayise, era musobola okusitukiramu, temuliina nze kubayita.